This is Scheme to Death with football columnist Murf Baldwin, delving deep into scheme and personnel as only he can do. And now, your host, Murf Baldwin.
Yo! Big shout outs to the guys over at BetUS for sponsoring this episode. What's going on, people? All my top Billin villains. We're in the building, man. And we can't be stopped. Can't stop, won't stop, no matter what a hater says. We continue to trek, and the haters continue to watch. But you know what we about to watch? We're about to watch and witness your Seattle Seahawks out there doing the damn thing. So, got a few things on the agenda today, man. Definitely had to talk more about that Connor Williams signing. Now, that came out of nowhere, it felt like. And that is a huge piece. A huge piece for the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, you talk about a need position. We're talking about the interior offensive line, not necessarily the center. So I'll expound on that here in a little bit as well, because you know I got to talk about your man Olu Oluwatimi as well, and some of the candidates at both guard spots. But I want to know, how's everybody out there doing, man? Make sure you continue to shout out where you're from, where you're tapping into Top Billin at. Tell me your location, your locale. Big shouts to everybody out there on the West Coast, man. Shouts to people out in Canada, Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Shouts to people out in Toronto, right? Back out close to here on the East Coast. Shouts to everybody, of course, in Washington State. You dudes in Northern California and Oregon. Big shouts to everybody out in Texas, Colorado, North Dakota, the Dakotas period, right? Seattle holding court out there, right? Think about teams that represent an entire area, those big metro areas, I guess decently sized metro areas, maybe not the population as some of the other spots here on the East Coast where it's just going to be a lot more people, but definitely enough, man. You start combining a whole bunch of different states, so it's not something that I ever recognized or even really thought about. But yeah, all those people tapping in out there, man. And Seattle's the closest team, or the Seahawks are the closest team, so definitely representing that. It's almost like the Atlanta Braves in baseball. Like, it felt like they represented from damn near northern Florida all the way over to like Mississippi, maybe even further than that, right? Straight up, right? So they were representing an entire section. So I guess you guys with the Seahawks are just like that. So, but before I go in, you guys have to make sure that you're tapping in with one of the chief sponsors, and that is BetUS. You want to get a 125% match bonus of up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits? Yeah, you're going to have to go ahead and tap in with BetUS. You get that 10% gambler's insurance. Man, it's going to be a straight up blast. Make sure you go ahead and hop on in with us, man. You check out my link in the pinned comment and the description box. And you know it's BetUS, so you're going to get that 24/7 customer support, 24-hour payouts, and you will get odds for any sport. And you're going to get those prop bets, man. Make sure you're getting in on the prop bets like your boy Jersey Murf. Man, I want to see who's going to be Rookie of the Year. I want to see who's going to be leading the league in yardage, interceptions, and different things like that. So I'll definitely be tapping into that. But make sure you're tapping in on the ground with us. You know how we do it at Top Billin'. It's BetUS, where the game begins. And it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas for your Seattle Seahawks with the signing of Connor Williams. Listen, I said it before, right? On the breaking news segment, right, that I did on that. Connor Williams is not to be played with. This guy is one of the better linemen in the NFL when healthy. You can make a case for him being top 5 at multiple positions. He's that good. No doubt about that there. Now, I saw where somebody on the channel said that this automatically makes the Seattle Seahawks have the top 5 offensive line. Yeah, come on, people. Why we always have to do this, right? I'm not going to say it's germane to just Seattle Seahawks fans, but it definitely applies to who it applies to. We see a lot of that with Seattle, with my Seattle content, where they do something and they have to go completely overboard. Listen, there's a lot of people with a lot of things to prove on Seattle Seahawks, and a lot of them on the offensive line. And that even goes for someone like Charles Cross, who I think is hella talented, who, wherever it may be, right, through injury or whatever, did not have the best year last year. Abe Lucas, same thing. Even when he was healthy, both of those guys had some, some spells. Cross more so than Lucas. We know Lucas and Cross to be extremely talented. There's no doubt about that. But in the NFL, man, and in life in general, shouldn't you have to prove it? Like, we have to stop handing out crazy-ass superlatives to people before they earn it with football, right? So I'm definitely never the one to do that. I want to see somebody actually make their way and make their hay in the game, because I have respect for the people who play the game of football, and I'm not going to just place somebody in a certain spot over someone else just because, right? So a lot of that obviously has to do with fandom, but, man, if you think about the interior portion, you can't even name the left guard. Like, who's going to be the left guard? And do you have a lot of confidence in whomever it may be? Is it Laken Tomlinson? As somebody who's watched every Jets game for the last couple of decades, I'm here to tell you, Laken Tomlinson is a talented individual. However, to me, he has not maximized his potential in the NFL the way I thought he would when he was coming out of college. Did not play well last year. Laken Tomlinson is not somebody you automatically pin in to help you be a top 5 offensive line. That doesn't even make sense to me, right? Like, come on now. Is it Christian Haynes? I think Christian Haynes can be very damn good, but that's off of watching him in college. It's a whole nother ball of wax when you're in the NFL and you're playing against nothing but professionals, right? You can be at UConn and have a soft schedule and not even really see anybody in the NFL. But now you're in the NFL, you're only seeing NFL players. You're only seeing interior defensive linemen, the likes of Leonard Williams, the likes of Jaron Reed and all those guys. And that's just in practice. Imagine when you get to the game. So we don't know. You can't say this with any type of definitive. You can't speak definitively about something like that with rookies. Is it Anthony Bradford? Obviously, you know what I'm saying? He's more of a right guard in my opinion, but you got to be interchangeable in this day and age. So between those guys at the guard spots, I did not really like what I saw from Anthony Bradford last year. He had some moments, but he had a ton of moments that were pretty damn bad. But just the fact that he's included and he wasn't some type of breakout star as a rookie last year, that counts if you're talking about having a top 5 offensive line. Is it somebody bringing up the rear like a Satoa Laumea? We don't know. He's a rookie, right? You got some other guys out there that maybe be able to swing, like a George Fent who could play outside and in, right? You would expect him to be where your man Abe Lucas is if he's not healthy, but he can definitely kick inside. So Connor Williams definitely adds a ton of value at multiple positions. To get your best 5 on there, I would get Olu Oluwatimi there at a guard spot if you feel as though you want a veteran center because you're going for it. They're definitely going for it. There's no beating around the bush with this, right? This seems like something that you would go out and do when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. So regime switch be down. Rookie coach, head coach, rookie offensive coordinator, rookie defensive coordinator. None of these guys have experience at their spots in the NFL. But it doesn't matter. John Schneider, that man is going for it, and he's providing them with some really good ammunition. So Oluwatimi, I feel to be as talented as any of those guys. I like what I saw from him last year when he did play, and I broke that down. I love the hustle with what he plays with, but to me, man, you got to look at the strength factor and the football intelligence of this guy. He's very strong. Somebody asked me about his strength. I'd never heard that to be a thing, but he was a people mover at Michigan, and we saw him in these clips that I run moving guys like Dexter Lawrence around. So nobody's just moving Dexter Lawrence around like that. That guy is every bit that dude at a zero technique or shade. So the only way to really know, man, is to get these guys reps. So you keep having these young guys and you keep bringing vets in over them. This is a regime change, so maybe they don't think the same as the previous regime thought about somebody. And that goes for even somebody who I like a lot, like Kenny McIntosh. You got the Holani kid doing this thing, I heard, even more so than Kenny McIntosh. When there's a regime change, somebody brings in their own guy, you have to always pay attention to that. So a lot of guys like to establish themselves with their own personnel. And there's really nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you're just lost in the sauce. To me, it wouldn't mean anything to how I think about a Kenny McIntosh if he somehow did not end up the third running back for the Seattle Seahawks, because cut that guy loose, please. Cut him loose. He could come out here to the East Coast for a number of teams. The New York Giants, I believe, can use a guy like Kenny McIntosh. So, yeah, go ahead and cut him loose. That would be, because we saw that guy at the University of Georgia playing against huge competition and dominating those guys. So there's no doubt in my mind that he can't play in the NFL, despite what he's gone through as far as the draft, what he went through as a rookie with the injury. The fact that he was even on the team, to me, shows how talented he is, because he was just a seventh-round pick. You could have 86 that guy, but they had him on the active roster protecting him. So, but that was that regime. And this regime right here may feel as though they want to go a different direction. It's their prerogative. But back to the offensive line. Yeah, so Connor Williams at center, Olu at guard. I can see Olu at a left guard. I think he could play that. He's athletic enough to be that type of guy, to play a left guard. And then at the right guard, maybe you know what I'm saying, you go back to Bradford. Like I said before, he did show some flashes. There's no doubt about that. And you can only get better with reps. So that would be a pretty good interior trio. You got your big guy in Bradford who's definitely a people mover. You got a guy who's more of an athlete, to me, at the other guard spot, in Oluwatimi, and of course Connor Williams, the guy who brings it all together, who can be a mix of both of those guys and has a ton of football experience with a veteran quarterback like your guy Grubb at Geno's under center. And then of course your two stalwarts on the outside, on the exterior. What would you guys think about that? So they would have to lab that, though. So I haven't heard anything about Oluwatimi working at a guard spot. So it may just be his time to learn and soak it all in from a guy like Connor Williams. But to me, Connor Williams does his thing. I don't know why you wouldn't try to re-sign that guy to a lucrative deal. I don't know if it's the injury factor there, but if he does do his thing, you wouldn't really want to let that guy leave town, would you? So what would that do for the long-term prognosis of someone like Oluwatimi? Remember, it's not like Oluwatimi was a first-round draft pick or anything either. So this is a new regime. Like I said before, maybe he's not Ryan Grubb style of guy. You just never know. But I'm like you guys. I do not have any answers as to why Oluwatimi is not the guy at this point in time. But keep in mind, he's just a rookie last year. And he wasn't like he was a starter as a rookie. He was a reserve rookie who got, maybe a game or two's worth of experience behind a crappy Evan Brown. I don't know why he didn't overtake that guy. So a lot of people will look at that and be like, man, this guy wasn't that good, and Olu couldn't overtake him. But, hey, you signed a veteran, and it's a important position, right? Every position is important in football, but obviously your center's making your line calls. You're making a lot of your adjustments. So having a veteran center, I think, is always, to me, the key. If you can bridge somebody and get them to be a veteran, just think about this right here. The Philadelphia Eagles with Jason Kelce, all those years as the top center in the game, they drafted his heir apparent in Cam Jurgens 3 seasons ago. They worked Cam in after Jason Kelce, sometimes in blowouts, or if Jason Kelce had an injury. But they had him moonlight at right guard last year as a starter to get him game reps and experience. Now, right guard and center aren't too much dissimilar. Obviously, you know the differences there, but Oluwatimi at a guard spot and then moving over, it's not unheard of. And that could be a way to integrate him and get him reps as well, like I said before. But it also just goes to show you that some people just probably want veteran centers if they're trying to really go for it. Now, he's a veteran in the fact that he's entering his second year of camp. But he doesn't have that type of experience, especially if you can go and get a guy like Connor Williams. I don't see why you wouldn't. If anything, if it's just a 1 year rental, he will have learned from that guy, and you will have your center over the next however many years. So Cam Jurgens got to learn at the feet of Jason Kelce, and I expect him to be that good forward. But he got a ton of experience last year, just football experience, period. And then he had that experience behind him working in. So maybe you work that man in behind Connor Williams, or I don't know how they do that. But I just think that you shouldn't panic on Oluwatimi, not at this juncture. Now, we'll see as the season moves on. We'll see how it plays out, too. A lot of people in panic mode, and we don't even know how it'll play out. It's just speculation at this point. So we shall see there. But Williams can definitely play guard. He's played guard before with the Cowboys. So that could be a thing as well. But you would think he would make his biggest impact at center. Where exactly is Brown at, right? Which insurance company is Brown working at these days? Is Brown working for Brown? Is he at UPS? Because that man was terrible, right? And then you be having these people that be coming on here talking about, right? They be trying to clickbait you guys. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to mention this cat, right? You know what I'm saying? Me and this cat don't necessarily see eye to eye or whatever like that. Whatever. But you had these guys that come like, oh, Evan Brown, the greatest thing since sliced bread and all this and that. He's a Hall of Famer and stuff like that. Then he's just like, really, dude? That's how you doing it? Obviously not. But, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I digress from that. But Oluwatimi, I want to see how it shakes out for that guy straight up. Straight up. So let me know what you think about Olu in this situation here. We shall find out here pretty soon, too, with the games coming up on Saturday. And, it's time to get to work, baby. So you make sure you get to work as well. Tap it in the top billing. Make sure you're hitting that thanks button, supporting your waiter. Make sure you tipping your waiter. You know I'll be serving that hibachi. Big shout-outs and big salutes to everybody out there who does support the channel and help keep the lights on and pay for the equipment and all that as well. So, but listen, moving on, talking about Seattle in training camp and these guys getting after it. I love it. Absolutely love it. If there's no fighting in training camp, I would think that a team is sleepwalking and probably won't even be good. It doesn't mean that you will be good because you're fighting in training camp, but at least lets me know that you're getting after it. It's the dog days of summer. In training camp, any shape, form, or fashion is designed to make people fight. You got a lot of alpha males out there. Right? I'm here to tell you straight up, right? After a while, you get tired of practicing against your teammates. Even though they're your teammates, you see them. Think about it. You probably get tired of just being around the same people in your household. Imagine doing that shit and you having to play a physical sport like football against the same people all the time. And then, of course, some of these people shine on you because it's designed for people to shine. They know your moves. They know your plays. They're on the same team as you. They can look over when they're working on whatever they're working on the other side of the ball and see what you're running. And you get the team period, and you're like, I already know what these guys are going to do or where they may go or what they're working on because it's still practice. So take that for what it's worth. But hearing about your man Jake Bobo, I don't know who they said. Who was it? I don't know, was it Trey Brown? I feel like Trey Brown was beating everybody up or trying to beat everybody up. I've been hearing about Tariq Willen getting into it with people, right? He's Tariq Willen right now, right? He has to earn his nickname or earn his real name of Rick Woolen, the Tariq Willen of 2022. That's what you should hope to see. So, but I heard about him getting into it, right? People questioning his We were questioning his manhood last year with this lack of tackling and lack of physicality. And you had people, right? I put the thing out about Tariq Willen. I hate this, right? When I put something out about somebody in your team, right, and it's not glazing them, I don't need an excuse as to why these things happen. Like, somebody, you know what I mean? Like, you have people up here saying, like, I be trying to, like, pump sunshines and roses and all this and that. But I'm the guy that's always pointing out shit that gets people mad. How can two things be the same? Or how can both of those things be true? Tariq Willen, for whatever reason, right? I had a guy on there was talking about injury and all this, right? He was talking about him covering the football. I never said anything about him covering passes like that. So that is what it is right there. He's saying, well, injuries definitely affect play and all this. I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. I can't stand that shit. Then you try to say, I play football. I'm like, man, shit, you're in the comment section watching me talk about football. Do I care to know if you play football? I don't. You're watching me. I'm not watching you. Nobody's watching you, so relax with all that there. But my thing is, no matter what, physicality is the name of the game. If you're too injured to tackle, then get the fuck off the field. I don't want to hear nothing about that shit. If you're on my channel and I'm talking about, I don't give a damn, right? It's the same thing with Tyler Lockett. When I point out how he jumps on the ground and twerks his way out of a hit, right, out of some physicality, I don't need to know why. I don't need to know that he was injured 40 years ago and he's trying to preserve himself and all that. Because guess what? This is a physical game, and everybody's playing the same game as Tyler Lockett. Everybody's playing the same game as Tariq Willen. Everyone gets injured. Some people have had some serious injuries or whatever like that, and they still go through the game of football playing it with integrity. So regardless of how great Tyler Lockett is or how very good he is and all that there, you will still have people point out that, and that will be beyond Murf Baldwin, right? I've seen some people send me stuff all the time on it, and people make videos about it because, man, it's odd to see it in the game of football no matter the reasoning. So, no, I don't need an excuse for that, and nor will I even accept an excuse for it, to be honest with you. And same deal with Tariq Willen and the tackling issue. So you control your tolerance to pain. I've played with a broken wrist and a broken thumb and had to been out there tackling. Does it hurt? Yeah, it hurts. But you control your effort. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't saying anything about anything of the sort, nothing about the coverage and all that there. So guys like that who try to do, I had to get them the fuck up out of there, right? 2024, man, we're not having that bullshit anymore. We're trying to be on a clean, straight path, nothing but love out here, right? We'll do what we have to do, right? It's always going to be something because I'm always going to point out whatever. I'm coming from a place of neutrality. So people are going to get angry about that, but definitely know that my shit is my shit. I'm not mimicking anything that anyone else says, and it's just going to be my thoughts. So if you tune in to Top Billin, you're tuning in to hear my thoughts. If you have thoughts that are different than what I have, so be it. That's life. We're not all thinking with the same brain. I welcome that. But I welcome it to a certain degree. You don't come in here and try to insult me or something like that because we disagree. And that's what a lot of people don't get. They're like, oh, Murf, you get mad at anybody who disagrees with you. Like, why would I care if you disagree with me? I didn't tune in to hear what you have to say. You tuned in to hear what I had to say. But don't come in and be like, you're a dumbass. And all this. Like how is that how you start off a conversation with somebody? If you're trying to debate or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? Not everything needs a debate first and foremost, but how is that going to work? You're just trying to get a rise out of me or something like that. You're trying to get attention. So, yeah. But I expect Tariq Willen to have a very good year. I love what I'm hearing from him. People were telling me that he's bulked up. I guess he's accepting the challenge. And that's scary because the guy's a complete freak. And I love his ability to play man. I think that he can play it a little bit better with his feet, right? Man, I don't give a damn about rating. I don't give a damn about PFF. Stop talking to me about what PFF said. I've said it 50 million times, and this predates anything dealing with Seattle Seahawks. I never uttered the word Seattle Seahawks in anything until the 2021 season, I think it was. I'm never covered. And that was about 6 or 7 years already into being a professional football analyst at that time. I established my no PFF rule way back then. PFF, pussies frequently follow. I don't care about what they say in regards to literally anything. I care about what you say or what you think as the consumer. I want to know what you are watching and how it shapes your personal analysis. Now, this company said this, so this how it is. Like, what? Come on. You going to let another man think for you? I employ people to think for themselves. That's always been my goal, and I have stated that numerous times. I want people to think for themselves and bring their own opinions, and then we can talk like that. So a lot of people aren't going to have the same opinion, and that's what makes it fun, to be honest with you, because somebody it makes it fun to a certain degree, right? Some of these people have preconceived notions about people, and they'll go with that. That's not fun. That's actually very annoying, to be honest with you, right? They'll have hang-ups in life, and then they'll let that creep into their analysis. So we can digress from that there, but people who genuinely or want to watch something and they'll come up with something, I have no problem with that. Why would I have a problem with that? So, I mean, that's what I asked for. I do have a problem with people leaning on PFF or whatever like that because it's just not something that I get down with. So if you look at the game and you think that he's the best man cover guy out there, then hey, so be it. That's what it is. As long as that's something that you're thinking, I think that he can work on that. I like him with the shuffle back to the sideline. I think he does really good with that, right? A mixer between zone and man, being able to bail out over the top. But obviously he can play man coverage. He's a damn freak, right? Really, very agile, right, for his size. He can do a lot of things, but he has some stuff to work on, right? And the physicality was the chief among them. So you can't play football in this game, or you can't play football in this day and age and not have some type of physicality at the cornerback position, especially the Seattle Seahawks. Like, think about all those guys that they've had at the cornerback positions over the years. A lot of them have been physical. There's a reason why Devin Witherspoon came in and shook shit up. It's because it's the physicality, and that's what Seattle Seahawks fans, I would think, but definitely the Seattle Seahawks brass is used to. But back to those fights, though. Jake Bobo, how many times have I talked about him being sent to Zombie Town, right? For some odd reason, that man has a penchant for being sent to Zombie Town, whether he's catching the football, whether he's laying a shoulder into somebody or something like that, he's getting sent to Zombie Town. So they saying that, I believe his helmet came off and then somebody punched him and his bloodied his nose, right? So we got to do it again. Let's get it. Won't you send me to Zombie Town? Could you send me to Zombie Town? Jake Bobo for the 15th time being sent to Zombie Town. But man, they said that it did not matter. He was straight up housing people, catching long touchdown passes, going up in traffic, doing the damn thing, man. I'm telling you right now, man, if it wasn't the Seattle Seahawks and they weren't so deep at wide receiver and didn't have multiple running backs to throw the ball to and a nasty tight end and all that, your boy Jake Bobo, man, could be somebody's second or third option for real and be a very, very good player in the league. You can just tell, man, being that damn tall with those type of feet and those type of hands, yeah. Zombie Town or not, that man's going to make an impact for sure, and he would definitely make a bigger impact if he could be within the top 3 receiving targets. I don't expect that to happen as long as, of course, Rocket Launcher is on the field, because that man will be doing the damn thing for sure. Jackson Smith and Jigba, and of course, Dennis Rodman Jr. himself, DK Metcalf, all those guys doing the damn thing, and Noah Fant as well. And several other guys on the bench too. So Seattle stacked, out there fighting, getting ready for it. John Schneider up there bringing in heist, right? He's heisting cats, getting somebody like Connor Williams, who was actually picking between the Baltimore Ravens, the hardest team in the league as well, and the Seattle Seahawks, and he chose Seattle. So That's a cool, right? That's a feather in the cap of John Schneider and their recruiting ability. Obviously comes down to money too, so we don't know the difference between the payout there, right? But even Connor Williams can get himself a 125% sign-up bonus on his first 3 deposits over at BetUS. Hey, just hit my link in the pinned comment or in the description and get to winning, all right? Big love to BetUS. Big love to all my top billing villains. Your boy, Jersey Murf, the Underground King. Salute.